The apocalypse is drawing nigh! Can you feel it? Can you hear it? Can you smell it? Oh, must have been that individual in the back there. My friends, I have been given a vision, a message for a world on the brink of destruction. And we are on the brink, are we not? I don't have to tell you things are bad. The economy is bad. Our politicians are bad. Our planet is dying. Every day it seems some new and horrifying spectacle brings us closer to the end of everything. It's enough to make one wish the fire and brimstone and stinging scorpions would just start already. But I have rediscovered the secret of salvation. I have in my very hands the plan that will save the world. Allow me to introduce myself. Some of you may remember who I was anyway. In another life, I was a Fed, a suit, a G-Man.
What?
A robot piloted by the United States government and their affiliated stakeholders for the purposes of collecting from the collective unconscious information useful in psychological operations.
Oh, for cloud adventure 2025?
Yes, it's a reference to the last clown event. And I was damn good at it. I knew the secrets that lurk inside the unconscious that make people work. And I made them do things they couldn't explain, things they tried their best to forget altogether. But the better I got at manipulating other people, the less I understood about anyone, especially myself. I was hollowed out like a dead roach. Electrodes growing my muscles like a marionette. I couldn't dream. I could barely sleep. I couldn't even tell the difference between dreams and reality. But I was in good company, am I not, my friends? Is there anyone in this room tonight who can say with their whole heart in their sleeve or their throat or wherever people are keeping those things these days, that they have both feet firmly planted in reality? Why, with governments and corporations buying up every oversized shoe, honking clown nose, and cream pie they can get their hands on, working class clowns are getting priced right out of a job, am I right? All this clowning around with other people's money, with their very lives, has normal people just wishing the silliness would end. Wishing to go back to simpler times of decency and democracy when clowns were clowns and suits were suits. Well, as a former suit, I can tell you, I was that decency and democracy. And there's been clowning around since long before donkeys and elephants, since before wigs, bigs, bears, and bulls.
Amen!
For thousands of years, there's been a big, hairy sleep paralysis demon sitting on all of our chests, reaching its arm up our throats and parading us around like little puppets. We made this demon with our own hands, with our pain and our joy. But somewhere along the way, we forgot that we had made it, and we convinced ourselves it was it that made us. This leech that has attached itself to the collective unconscious is what we in the PSYOP business call the plan. read the plan. The plan is old, very old, but not so old as dance. Before we invented day planners and compound interest, humans roamed far and wide, walking and talking and foraging and fighting and learning the dance of everything. Through the centuries, legends spread of a place where the dance had got especially elaborate, a place along the banks of the Nile River. Civilization, they call it. And my gods, the games people got up to there, the feasts, the festivals. They danced the dance of the leopard and the egret, the sun and the stars, the flood and the blood. In this place were two very special brothers, Osiris and Set. Osiris was considered a wizard because he could make food grow out of the ground with his fertility dances. So that everyone spent most of their time dancing and sexing and making up new names for things. Set was considered a bore, a buzzkill, the first man to shut nature out of himself. They say it was him who invented taxes. I know, right? Osiris was made king of civilization on account of his impeccable vibe and infectious dances. But Set, and they wrote down their favorite dances in a big book called the Book of Thoth. But Set brought around himself the paranoid and greedy, those to whom it was never said, "May I have this dance?" Very sad. The followers of Set, they were crafty, and they built things. Oh, how they built things! Temples and tombs, weapons and wheels. The dance was always getting in the way of their work. So while Osiris was away teaching the dance to the world, Set outlawed it. And the people grumbled. Set has us working on other people's tombs all day instead of dancing and sexing. It's all kind of a bummer. When Osiris returned, Set deceived him and murdered him, chopping him up into 14 pieces and scattering them across the globe.
Oh, God!
The Book of Thoth was lost. Set thought that would put an end to all the noisy and disorderly dancing he so hated. But nobody could abide civilization without the dancing and the sexing and the communing with nature. Nobody except for Set and his lackeys. So Set came up with the plan. He found a new way to write that had nothing to do with dancing. He made it so that his voice shouting, "Tote that barge, lift that bale," could be heard from anywhere in the world. He took his pen and he wrote, "In the beginning was the Word." He wrote a whole lot, Set and his followers, about how every person was part of the plan. About how the plan was going to save the world. About how people were wretched and dirty and wrong, except for the plan. At first, people were confused because they didn't know they were wretched, and they didn't know the world needed saving. But Set kept writing and conquering and stamping out the dance wherever he found it. Until at last, people forgot how to live without the plan. Long after Set was dead and buried, who died alone and sleepless and certain that someone, somewhere was having too much fun. People argued about what the plan really was. Who was on the right side of the plan and who was on the wrong side of the plan. Who was doing the dance and needed to be shot. The whole world looked like a wretched mess. And though nobody seemed to know how atom bombs and extinct dolphins were supposed to bring about the plan, they knew for sure there was a plan. And that somebody was the bad guy and somebody the good guy. But the seeds of Osiris were not idle. His left foot made its way to Greece, where it taught Dionysus and his followers how to smash grapes into wine. His head hitched a ride with a passing spaceship to Teotihuacan. I was very brave for including that in my script. Where it brokered a swap for some magic seeds the Martians called corn. His leg was smuggled to the Celtic Isles, where it became a pillar of Stonehenge, amplifying the funky tides of the moon. Everywhere the seeds of Osiris went, people learned how to let nature speak and dance through them. And it grew and grew, quick as grass, faster than the plan ever could, because the plan had to be brought by force. But eventually, the plan caught up, washing brains or bashing them in, till it covered the whole world. And the followers of Set thought they could at last breathe easy. Because history was over, and all they had to do was wait for the plan to bring about the apocalypse! But the plan failed. The big man never came back. History kept happening. The sensible people were dumbstruck because the plan was supposed to save the world, not kill it. While the followers of Set tried to hasten the apocalypse because they could no longer be bothered to pretend this had all... Are you alright? I'm almost done. The followers of Set could no longer be bothered to pretend all of this was not just because no one ever asked them. May I have this dance? Is there anyone in this bar tonight who has never been asked, may I have this dance? Anyone who has sat on the sidelines, seeing the fun and freedom that seems to come so easily to other people and asked, why can't that be me? Is there anyone in this bar tonight who was asked from a young age to hold up the world, to be in control, to be a protector and a provider? Anyone who never got to have a childhood because they were too busy trying to survive? Is there anyone in this bar tonight who feels cut off from the deep wellsprings of wildness inside them? Anyone who has forgotten the dance? It's okay. We can admit it here. This city, this country, this world is full of people whose hearts are filled with bitterness because they have never given themselves to the dance. Those people want us to be afraid of them. But we're not afraid of them, are we? No! Because they're a bunch of clowns. Their pants down around their ankles and they can't even admit it. They can't even admit. They just want to be invited to the dance. So, everyone, if you feel so called, if the dance should move you, I want you to turn to someone next to you and say, there is no plan. May I have this dance?
There is no
no plan. May I have this dance? We have been set free. The plan has failed. It couldn't keep us from nature because the nature just bubbles up from inside of us. Because wherever we go, there we are, sweating, noisy, without purpose, and fabulously alive. Say it with me. There is no plan. May I have this dance? Go now and let nature speak and dance through you.